Hi everyone. Do we need a mic? Do we need a mic? Yeah,
Always.
yes, we do. Can you all hear me in the back? Yeah? Good? Okay, good. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for choosing us over the forum. Amazing. So, the story I want to share with you is precisely about me in this kind of situations. So, every time I have stand on the stage to talk to amazing people like you all, I got terribly nervous, self-conscious about how I look and this hair, and you're recording me, and the camera puts more weight, and will I give the speech? That's very well, my sheets. Will it make any sense at all? And I honestly, before coming up the stairs, I untied and tied back my shoes, scared of tripping on the way here. So the story goes like that every time that I have to speak in public, and it's pretty much the same, same protocol. I get terribly nervous, and after a minute or so, as you will all witness, I will be in control, and everything will go reasonably well. And then people will tell me why were you so nervous? You're totally in control of this. You got this. But my own version of that feedback that I greatly appreciate is, if only I had the confidence of a man, which is something that, I don't know, maybe some of you can relate to. So, this is a thought that I used to have quite often. I grew up in Chile, and I attended an all-girls school for 12 years. So for 12 years, I was primed to think that girls could do everything, because in my school, a girl was the best at math, a girl was the best at art, a girl was the best at soccer, quite obvious, there were no boys. So I grew up confident enough to I can do anything. But then, I entered with 67 other female classmates, a class of 500 engineers, in a very traditional Catholic university back in Chile. And my confidence started suffering from the very first day. See, when I entered that college, I entered with amazing admission scores, and I was actually number 4 in the ranking of admission, in a big deal college. So soon enough, I got used to male classmates peeking at my grades to see if they had done better than before, because that was just who I was for them, a threat to their maleship. It's funny how, I think it's funny now to tell that in the year 2006, there was a building, the electrical engineering building, that did not have bathrooms for women. Until a year after we were there. And a month into class, I was in a geometry class, trigonometry, and the professor did a lecture on trigonometric functions. And he did this whole rant on the beauty of the trigonometric function sine, which in Spanish is the word seno, which is the same word for breast. So he's there in a lecture hall of 120 people, and he's doing this thing, making fun of, I don't know, speaking of the beauty of the sine/breast, and I'm there, first row, trying to take notes, half uncomfortable, half disgusted, but at the same time I wasn't able to do anything, because the entire 120 people that were around me were just laughing at this very funny professor. So that kind of set the tone for my engineering experience back there. And during that time there, I then went into the computing department in IT engineering, and I was usually expected to take notes and do reports instead of coming up with ideas and doing actual work in group projects. I started gaining a lot of weight, and I got bullied in online forums for classes without anyone ever stepping there in my defense. And I got so scared of speaking up and becoming the unwelcome person that no one wanted to hear about, that I just put my confidence that I had developed in high school and put it in the shell with my nice, happy high school memories. So yes, the thought of if only I had been a boy was a thought that I had quite often, And for these and many other reasons that we can talk about later, I drifted my personal path from engineering to education. My first job was as a teacher, math teacher for high school seniors. And I remember asking my first class of high school seniors about what they wanted to do after graduation. So it was 25 kids, male and female. And I remember the boys coming up with all sorts of answers, construction workers, lawyers, accountants, professional soccer players, of course. But many of the girls didn't even have an answer. You know, they couldn't see past graduation and didn't kind of have hopes and dreams for the future. And I stayed after that class on a very rainy day. We stayed in the classroom corner to talk about like what they like to do, what do we enjoy, what do you do on the weekends. So they started talking to me about how on the weekends they would go with their boyfriends to watch soccer games or whatever they wanted to do. And I asked why. And this was a few months into my job, and I still remember this day that it broke my heart how one of the girls took like the spokesperson role for all of them that were in the classroom, and she said, "Teacher Ingrid, when you're in love, there's things you just have to do." And out of the 14 girls in that class that year in 2012, 4 of them were pregnant by graduation. And a year after graduation, the 14 of them were mothers. So I found myself not only wishing now, if only I had the confidence of a man, but also wondering what the fate of these girls would be had they been born boys, you know? Now, of course, had I been born a boy, this would be an entirely different story. I wouldn't be myself, basically. And there's no much sense to this what if game, since we cannot change the past. We can only come to terms with it. And my own coming to terms with this, my way of changing this very sad and like regret narrative into a more positive and constructive one for me, I found that in feminism. In feminism, I have found historical figures that I was never taught in school, you know, but played a central role in gaining rights that we maybe even take for granted today. I found role models that looked like me instead of the white males that I had seen in the jackets of book throughout my whole life. I found theoretical explanations for my and our struggles as women. I found a potential solution that could address those problems and validated them. I found recognition, shelter, and hope. But the most important thing that I found in feminism is sisterhood. The way I see it now, all the pain that I went through in this past of my life was only the path that I needed to walk to find now my amazing female feminist friends that I have now. From college and from my dear students in the school, from my previous jobs, and also here, colleagues and mentors, the brilliant and brave women that I have learned from the most, that have taught me, that have helped me on my worst and celebrated me at my best, the ones that are making a difference in the world, because I do think that women are pretty much the hope of the world at this point, and the ones that will share our future struggles, because you know there's so much to be done yet to end patriarchy, but just I know now, and we know now that we're not fighting alone in this. So no, I wasn't born with the confidence of a man, as you can see, but I will need it, because today I'm bringing here in this speech the sum of confidence of now over 20 women from all over the world that were generous enough to discuss, edit, proofread, and hear me rehearse this speech. Women that challenge the sole thought that I ever needed a man's confidence. Women that reminded me that I'm good enough just as I am, and that my hair actually does look great. These women are here, though you may not see them. They're by my side, they're rooting for me, and they're speaking to you through my words. These are the sisters that feminism has given me, and that is their superpower. Thank you.